guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Helen and this is Stitch Rip Repeat, and today I'm doing the Friday Sews video. So if any of you out there haven't heard of this, this is a hashtag that's been going around and it was started by Jen, and I will put her channel name probably down here because I'm not exactly certain of it. Jen's Sewing Room, I think she calls herself. She started this and there's quite a few people now that are joining in. It's a really nice way to catch up on what people are up to. It's a little bit more chatty and it's sort of a weekly roundup. So I thought I'd join in because it's been really fun watching everybody else's Friday sews. I love to catch up with what everyone else has been up to, and so I thought I'd share what I have been up to with you. Now, any of you that follow my Instagram channel will be aware that my most recent make, which I just finished a few days back, is not a piece of clothing. However, it's from the Closet Core pattern company. It's very popular and it is their Poof, and it's a free pattern, and I've had it ages. When I found it sometime last year before, I printed it off straight away, and when I printed it off I didn't realise that I printed it at the wrong size. So my pattern pieces are a little bit smaller than they're supposed to be, but because it's not clothing, so you're not going to fit it or anything, I thought it didn't matter and that my Poof would just be a little bit smaller. In actual fact, it is a really nice size and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. And you can see from the photos, it's very colourful and it's a tapestry fabric that I've had for quite some time. I bought a few different tapestry fabrics, and one of the things I made with the fabric to begin with a year or so ago now was a bag. I'll just get that and I'll show you the bag. Okay, so this is the bag I made. Hopefully it's showing up. I will insert photos if it's not. And as I say, if you've seen the Poof, and hopefully I've put photos up if you haven't, it's the same tapestry fabric is one of the choices. This pattern is by a company called Mrs. H Patterns, and she has some fantastic bag patterns if you are interested in making bags. I will probably put the name again down below because I'm ever so sorry, I've forgotten what this one is called. I do love this. It's a really good sized day-to-day bag, and I had lots of the fabric left over, hence I made the Poof. So that was the latest thing I made. It didn't take me too long. As I say, I already had the pattern printed and cut out. Took a little bit of time matching up the patterns. So as you'll see, I think in the photos, I've got two different fabric patterns that I used. And what I did was I alternated each of the little pie segments, but I tried to match them. So the one with the zigzags like this, I tried to match where I cut it so that the colours flowed. Because I could only cut a certain amount out one way and then had to turn it, you'll find there's 3 that match one side and 3 that match the other. But I think it's worked out really well. And my children love it. They've stolen it from me. So I have promised my son, my youngest son and my daughter that I will make some for their room in fabrics of their choice. So watch this space. I will post them when they get made. Other things that I made recently were a blouse that I made, and I posted on my Instagram account that I was happily invited to test this pattern for the lovely Alice, and her pattern company is Stitched in Wonderland. All the details for things I mentioned, if you don't know by now, you should. I always pop them down in the description box, so you'll be able to check out everything I talk about. This blouse is a new blouse to her patterns. She already has some great patterns, so do go check her out. She's got a great skirt and like a pinafore, dungaree pinafore, and a dungaree like romper play suit, which I've recently purchased and will hope to make soon. The blouse is called the Everyday Blouse. And I made this from I think it was November, the November fabric, which is this gorgeous viscose from Sew Hayley Jane's box, which I subscribe to. Again, I'll stick all the details down below. I'm not sure how well this will come out, so I may have to insert photos. But obviously, this is the actual blouse and the fabric. I made a button placket, which is the first time I've made a button placket. Again, if you can't see it, I will insert better photos. And this is a lovely small collar, and I like it turned down, but the idea is that if you don't want it turned down, you can actually have it just up, put another button on the top, and it's like and it will be like a mandarin collar. I used clear buttons, so I'm not sure how well they show up. And it's got a lovely pleat in the middle of the yoke at the back, and I'm not sure how well this will show where I am, but it's got really lovely billowy statement sleeves. And I had great fun trying to get all these gathers into this little cuff, but I love the effect it had. The fabric was gorgeous to work with. It's really soft and drapey. Blue, as you know, my favourite colour. I did do the burrito method for the yoke, so I'll probably insert photos so I don't turn this out. But that means that all the seams are enclosed on my yoke. And I did insert a label, which I always try to do. And this one, because this did take me a little while, because obviously first time making a blouse and first time testing this one. And this one says slow fashion. Hopefully that's come up there for you inside. Yeah, so I made that tester for Alice. I was really happy to test it. I love how my blouse has turned out. Do go check it out for yourself. So I'm planning to make a second version of the everyday blouse. One of the options was to go with a shorter, 3/4 length sleeve. Hopefully I'll get one of the testers' pictures for you. And I saw one of the lovely testers did it in a double gauze, which I thought looked fabulous. So I have this double gauze, which I'm hoping will show up well, has these gorgeous gold dots on it, and it's a really lovely sort of teal blue. I got this from lovely Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door. Again, all details will be down below. And so, yeah, I think obviously it's a really lovely blouse with the long sleeve. I'm interested to see how the 3/4 sleeve turns out. The one thing I did learn from testing, and I have to be honest, I did kind of already know this from previous makes, but I still I'm quite a lazy sewer, so I don't like doing full bust adjustments. However, I do have an issue in that my upper bust measurement is at least 3 centimeters more than my full bust. And realistically, what this means for me is that A, I do a lot of stretch garments because I don't have to worry about it. But B, when I'm doing a blouse like this, what I did find is that it is a little bit on the large side around the main part of the torso. Now, I think this is my mistake because Alice has some fabulous guides on how to measure yourself. She even, which I absolutely loved in the pattern, shows you how to do a full bust adjustment if needed. But the other thing I love about this pattern is that she has 3 different cup sizes. So there is a B, C and a D. Now her pattern sizes are not numbered, they're letters, and I did an F in this and I did the C cup. And like I say, I think it was, the F was too large for me. So I think when I cut this next one out, I'm going to try and size down to the E, and then I'll just double check my measurement to see whether I should still do the C size for the bust or go to the D. So yeah, well, I'll be interested to see how that turns out. So that's my immediate sewing plans. I have previously in a video before Christmas told you about pajama sewing plans I had, and I'm doing pretty well. I will have to insert photos rather than show you again, because the pajamas that I made were for my 3 youngest children and they are basically living in them. I don't know what it's like in other countries at the moment, but we're in our 3rd lockdown here in the UK, and so they are spending an awful lot of times in pajamas, which makes me really glad that I made some, but it also means I can't get them off them at this current moment to show you. So I'll put in photos. I'll start with the first pair that I made, and that was for my son Kearney, and I will just get the I'll just get the pattern 1 second. Okay, I have to apologise. I have made the fatal mistake of having a tidy up in my sewing room, and of course now I can't find anything. So I'll have to insert the pattern name and number and a photo for you to see which pattern I used. But I used this pattern for my 3 youngest for their pajama bottoms, and I'll insert a photo. I used this lovely I think it was brushed cotton with this lovely tartany effect, which was my December So Hailey Jane, and this was for my teenager, my 14-year-old, and I made the medium size for him, and I think I lengthened it by about 1 inch, but it was fantastic. What I love about this pattern is it is just one pattern piece, so each leg is cut in one and then sewn together with just one seam as opposed to 2, and then obviously you just stitch them together at the crotch and pop in some elastic around the waist and hem them at the bottom, so they're really great, and it means you can knock up quite a few pairs of pajamas if you're in the mood. So that was for my eldest of the children. Then my younger son, who was 11, he had the same pajama pattern, but I made it in the size small. I did then have to make an extra cuff on the bottom, so I found that he needed about another 3 inches of fabric on the bottom, so I cut basically about 6 inches in depth, and then I just folded it up in half and then added it to the bottom of each leg, and that worked perfectly. And as you can see, this is in that fabulous polar bear fabric that I showed you I was going to use for him. He also had a top made, so he has a plain, I think it's a ponte that I used, or it could be just a cotton jersey, but it's a plain dark grey. And with that one, again, if you saw me on Instagram, I basically just took his old pajama top that he'd worn out and cloned it to make another pattern piece. There is loads of tutorials on YouTube, so do go check that out if that's something you're interested in. It's really good for things like t-shirts and like this, just a regular long sleeved stretch top. I'll link below the one that I followed, and I followed this, made his grey top, and then we both, I think, agreed that it was a bit boring. He certainly thought it was a bit plain, because unfortunately the polar bear fabric was a remnant, so it didn't have a lot of the fabric left, and I couldn't manage to squeeze out like any sort of extra bit that we were happy with. I couldn't do sleeves. I did think about a pocket, but so we decided in the end to drag out my Cricut maker and my Easy Press, and because he had polar bears on the bottom, we chose a plain polar bear, which was on the design space that comes as part of your Cricut package, and we made the polar bear in this lovely silver. And then my son wanted these specific words, "he's stylish," underneath, so we popped that in the silver as well, and now he's really happy with it, as you can see in the photos. And then lastly, my daughter had very similar. I basically made the same pajama bottoms for her in this lovely fleecy blue fabric, and it's got sort of wolves all over it in various different colours and designs. I made the same mistake with my daughter. She is a couple of years younger than my son, but she's basically the same height, and I cut the small for her, so again I had to then add the 3-inch cuff of the fabric around the bottom. Works perfectly. She had a matching top because I had enough of the fabric to make a matching top, and it's lovely and cozy, and so for her top I used another Simplicity pattern, which is just a straightforward round neck long sleeve top, and she's really happy with it, and it's turned out great. So now I only got one more of my children to make pajamas for. He is my eldest and he is 15. He is really in men's size patterns now, so I am probably going to use a different pattern, and I might use the one that came in my So Hailey Jane box at Christmas with the tartan fabric, which was a lovely bonus. We don't normally get patterns. And again, I'll insert, I can't find anything in my sewing room at the moment. I think I've got enough in the tartan fabric to use for him, so I'll probably go with that. The only thing with my son, and I'm glad he doesn't watch my YouTube because I'm sure this will embarrass him, is he has quite a large bottom. So I'm going to drag out my faithful Alison Smith. This is an older version, so the cover might look different to the more recent version. But this does have every kind of adjustment and sewing techniques you need, and in it does have how to do a full bottom adjustment. So I might film little bits of that when I do it, because obviously it's new to me, so it might be new to other people and might help seeing how it works. So I'm going to be doing that to make his, and then the last two will be me and my husband, probably me last. Oh no, I lie. I've already made myself some pajamas. Again, I did show them on Instagram. I've forgotten all about it. I made my pajama bottoms from the Tilly and the Buttons Jamie pattern, which I got not that long ago. And I made them from this lovely blue and white checkered brushed cotton from DIY or Dye Fabrics. And yeah, these were really straightforward. The only thing I did with these was I added pockets, so they don't have pockets in the pattern. So again, I just followed a tutorial by Melly Sews, which again I'll link below for you, and I've now kept that pocket. Hold on, I'm going to say it's in here. 1 second. Yeah, so sorry about that. So I've kept the pocket piece because it's a really nice shape and works really well. And the tutorial was really straightforward, so I added pockets, which I love, and my pajamas are finished. I did cut out the recommended size for me, which I think I did a size 4, which is about the equivalent of UK 12, and the legs came out huge, really long. So I think before I hemmed, I actually chopped off an inch and a half, 2 inches, and then I hemmed it. But I'm really happy with them. They're really comfy. They were really easy to whip up, and I plan to do some more. So that would be me. And then lastly, as I said, I need to do my husband. Now, he would like shorts, he's said. So I am thinking that the Simplicity pattern I did for my children has an adult version. I am thinking of possibly just looking at the pattern up against his leg, deciding where he'd like the length, and just tracing it off as a short and doing it like that. So I haven't decided on fabric or pattern for sure, so I'll let you know how we get on with that. So yeah, pajama sewing and testing, which was great fun. Love to do that again, and poofs are what I've done, and obviously some plans for the future. The other things that I've planned, well, in my head for the future, is some tops. Now I'm probably going to go for the toaster sweater by Sew House 7. I have the collaboration they did with the magazine, which hopefully I'll have inserted a photo for you. But I have 2 gorgeous fabrics. They are the same pattern in a different colourway. If you watch my channel, you know that's nothing new for me to do that. I love blue, so I had to pick the blue, but they do a green, so I'll grab those to show you. So these are lovely weight, and they are kind of soft, fleecy inside as well. So I think the toaster sweater is going to be perfect. And I've already decided that I'm going to follow the lovely Andrea at Beyond the Pink Doors tutorial on that. I don't often follow instructions if I can find a tutorial, because I prefer to see how people do it. So I'll probably give that a go. I've got this gorgeous blue, and obviously had to do the blue. I'll just see if you can see that. And then, as I said, they also did it in this gorgeous, hopefully you can see that really well, deep emeraldy sort of jewel green. So I've got both of these, and I've got, I think, 1.5 meters of each, and they were from the wonderful Jelly Fabrics. And I'm planning that those, along with the pajamas and the shirts, will be what I sew over the next few weeks. And as you probably know by the fact my videos come out rarely and my sewing comes out rarely, I'm quite a slow sewer, so I won't put any time scale on that. I will say that's what I'm doing. I have just one last thing to tell you about, and that is I am taking part in an Instagram challenge, which hopefully you've already heard about by now, because it started about 5 days ago, I think, already, and it's been advertised a few days before that. This is a challenge over on Instagram, and it was the brainchild of the lovely Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl and from Sam of Frugalissima. And it was basically to do some frugal sewing. Sam is fantastic. Do go check out, if you don't already, her channel, where she can really give some great tips on how to do frugal sewing, free patterns, where to get them, how they work out, and any kind of money saving tips for sewing. She's really great at. They've come up with the hashtag frugalfrocks2021, and 40 plus, I think, sewing vloggers are all releasing our videos at the moment. I'll pop up the screenshot. If you want to see it in better detail, you can do a screen capture of it and have a look at it at your leisure. I'm on there, and I'm going to be doing my video for the Frugal Frocks 2021 in the beginning of March, 3rd of March, and do go check out daily. I always post on my Instagram whose video is up that day, and it's a vlog hop, so each day a sewing vlogger will say what they're thinking of doing, some probably dress ideas and fabric ideas, because the key for this is that you choose a free dress pattern, and then you rummage around in your stash for the fabrics, you sew it up, and then everybody is going to show off their makes over on Instagram on the 31st of March. So that's going to be the real date. So it's really fun to be taking part, and it's really interesting to see all these other sewing vloggers and to find out new pattern companies that do free patterns that maybe you've never heard of. Certainly there's been a lot already that I've not heard of. So I'm really excited to be taking part. As I say, my video will be out 3rd of March, and I'm already doing some background looking into what I might come up with, and so I hope you'll be interested to see that video. I also hope to do a little bit of a fabric haul. I might do that at the same time, or I might do it before, who knows. So that's me for this Friday. Hopefully I'll get this edited and up today, so I won't be putting Friday sews up on Saturday. I hope you're having a great day where you are, and I will see you all in my next video.